Hello friends, here's the second part of the sequence of steps to teach reading. If you haven't seen part 1, do watch that first. Once the child knows all these rules, it will be easy for the child to read. And once something is easy, it's fun as well. So let's raise readers. Welcome to Happiness Mintra. Do like, share and subscribe for more such videos.
As I mentioned, the first 7 steps are covered in the earlier video, so you can check out the link in the description and watch it. We'll start with step number 8, where I prefer to introduce the magic E or the split digraph words, which would be words like wake. So if a word ends with an E in the end, then the vowel in the word takes on the long sound. So there would be words like line. So this is not la I na anymore, it's la I na, line. Then we'll have something like pole. We can have longer words like prune, stone, and such words. So anything that ends with an E gives the long vowel sound. A similar rule is with the hard and the soft sounds of k and g. So there are certain cases where the k takes the soft sound, which is that of a s. We have words like circle, we have words like ice, face, city. I do these two in conjunction with each other because, like, you can see that when there's a E in the end, even in that case, the C is actually taking its actual sound of a C, which is the soft sound, rather than K, which is its phonic sound. Same is the case with G. It will take the sound of a J in case it is written with either I or an E. We have words like gel, giraffe. But there are many exceptions in this rule, so we need to be careful about that. For example, a word like girl or gift would have an E sound, but still be pronounced as a G, not a J. So this comes with practice. The more the children read, the more familiar they get with which sound needs to be used where. Now I'll come to the common digraphs which the children use. A simple rule which applies to 50% of the words is that when there are two vowels together, we take the sound of the first vowel. Okay, so suppose it is AI, so we'll have a word like rain. So it's taking on the sound of the first vowel when it is a combination of two together. So lots of words here. For example, we have EA. So we have a word like peach. We have OA combination. So we have boat. In all these cases, you'll notice that it's the first vowel which is giving the sound. So basically, we say that when two vowels go walking, first one does the talking. Then we have OE. So we'll have a word like toe. We have OU, so out, and many more words. We can have combinations of all these, but again here there are many cases where there are two ways in which the words can be pronounced. So here the other rule which I just spoke about applies, but in this same case we can have a word like near. So this gets ruled by the Bossy R rule, so it is EA together. So near is how we pronounce it. Again, the more they read, the more familiar they'll get with these concepts. But to begin with, this side of the concept that when the two vowels are together, it's the first vowel which they need to actually pronounce. Next, we come to the less used vowels, which is a combination of IA for a word like piano, and we have rain, REIIA, and we will have a lion in case of IO. So these are lesser used digraphs and their pronunciation is a little varied in different cases. Then we have Y combination words. Now Y is considered to be a semi-vowel. So you have words like cry, fry, where we don't have any of the 5 main vowels, but we have a Y to complete them, and Y is considered to be a semi-vowel. Which is the reason when we have Y in words, there are different pronunciations which are used. So with this, it is A, E, and Oi, which is how we pronounce them. So, we'll have hey, day, we'll have key, we'll have boy, toy. So this is how they're commonly pronounced once they're coming with a vowel combination. Now there are many words which end with a Y, and in those cases we pronounce it with the E ending. For example, a word like happy. So there's an end Y and we call it a E, which makes it happy. Then we have a word like lucky. Again, since it's an end vowel Y, it's ending with Y, we use the E sound for it. So lucky, happy. So when we learn about segmenting in future, that is how it will be used, and the children will need to understand when to use which letter of the alphabet, how to pronounce and how to spell. We move on to the next rule, which is the Bossy R rule. What happens here is that when we have R with any of the vowels, then the sound of the R becomes predominant. In case of air, it remains R for words like far, car. So it is not air, it becomes R. Same goes for or in itself is a word, and we have words like for, which will have a simple sound of or. But the other 3, which is r, I, r, and r, they all take the sound of the r. For example, we'll have words like fur, same, fir tree, or we'll have filter. So you'll notice that when these are coming in, the sound actually is that predominantly of the r, because of which it gets a little confusing for children to spell it, and especially while they are writing their spellings, since they don't hear the middle sound correctly, they often write f and r for fur. So the sound that they'll write is probably this. Again, words with Bossy R need a lot of practice. They need a lot of experience in terms of reading as well as spelling, so that the children get familiar with it and are able to use it comfortably. Again, this rule comes more towards the end so that they are more familiar with the other patterns and the other rules and are not completely bogged down by this one. So I prefer to pick it up towards the end when they're feeling more comfortable with all the other rules, which are simpler and easier and covers at least 50% of their general reading and spelling stuff. We also have 3-letter blends which can be introduced earlier also because they are not too difficult. For example, words like splash, they're similar to the 2-letter blends, only thing the blend is with 3 letters together. So we'll have scream, we will have sprain, and many more words like this. So we can have shrill, 3 letters combination in terms of the blend. Then children need to know about open syllables and segmenting. This again becomes important because bigger words which can be broken down and then read, reading and spelling them becomes easier. For example, if they have a word like paper and they break it here, which is where they need to segment the word, so the open syllable will take on the long sound. So it will be pay and then per. it will not be pa. Similarly, a word like spider. Same rule, since it's an open syllable word, so spy, the E takes on the I or the long sound. Words like bonus or music. But if there are two words which are split as close syllable words, then it's the basic rule which applies. So subject. So here sub is a close syllable. So it'll be sub and j-e-cut. So subject. Velvet. So this basically gives them an idea of how to pronounce the word and how to spell them as well. So close syllables I've covered together with the open syllable. They generally work in conjunction. Obviously, the children need to know when an open syllable is coming and when a closed syllable is coming in the combination. And most of your three-letter words, of course, CVC is always a closed syllable word. So, any of the simple words that they have done are all closed syllable words. Now, two extra things that I like to tell the children, because very common words, one of the first words that the children learn or one of the first toys that they play with is a ball. Okay, so when they are writing or reading about a ball, technically this should be what they read, but they're reading this. They are reading it as b-a-l-l. Okay, so I like to tell them that all in itself, whenever they come across this combination together, it is always read as all. For example, the word that I just said, always. So it's always. Right? So this is something that I introduce them quite early, and same goes for a WA combination. W-a. Very occasionally we read it as the. Mostly common words which the children will be using are read as wa. For example, again, one of the first words that the children come across is water. So this is water. It is not water, right? So they need to know that often when they have a W and a A coming together, they'll read it as wa. For example, a word like want. I want is something children say very frequently. So want is W-A, but it is read as a wa. So we're done. Once the children complete all this, and in conjunction they have been reading a lot of sight words, they will be reading books and paragraphs in no time at all. Now the rules for phonics covers about 50 to 60% of their reading. If they're clear with all these rules, that much is taken care of. The rest of it is all about practice. English has many exceptions, and the children need to be clear on each exception to be able to understand it better and to read fluently. Happy reading, happy teaching.